Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to part 8 of this WordPress for Beginners tutorial. Today we're going to jump right into talking about plugins and what plugins I usually put into a new WordPress when I install it, even on a local host, just to configure it before we take it to a live server. So you guys already know that one of the first plugins I put in is an SEO plugin. Usually it's all-in-one SEO pack. Sometimes it's Yoast, but it's usually all-in-one SEO. And I'll do a video in the future on each one, and it's really up to you. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. In the end, it's all kind of the same thing. It just kind of configures your website, helps you configure it best for search engine optimizing. So that's the first one, and we're going to have a video, let's see, it's going to be maybe a few parts away. It might even be the next part, I'm not sure, about configuring your SEO pack, your all-in-one SEO most proficiently for your site. But I want to talk about the other plugins I put into a WordPress beyond this, and I kind of made a short list of the ones I find myself using most. So all-in-one SEO pack was our first one. I'm actually going to put it up top just to kind of get it and show a list of ones we've installed and ones we haven't. So we've installed all-in-one SEO so far. The next one I usually install is Wordfence. Wordfence, and by the way, just like you do with themes, you just go to your plugins and then you can either hit add new from over here or add new from the top here, and then you can search them. So Wordfence is a security plugin for WordPress that helps keep your site secured from hacks and things of that nature. And it's a really great plugin. I've used it for a long time, and I would really recommend it for securing your website. It actually does a lot of good stuff for you. It lets you lock people out of your login screen. It lets you lock people out of your website if they're hitting your pages too often. It blocks them from your site. All kinds of stuff. It's actually pretty cool. Actually, and it looks like they have a standalone login one too for two-factor authentication. If you're familiar with Twitch or something like that, or even I guess a lot of places are doing two-factor authentication now, and so that's a good way to do that as well. But in this case, we're just going to install Wordfence. This is usually what I do when I'm getting a new site up and going. Wordfence is really cool. It kind of, like I said, just pops in and starts defending your site for you. It's better than having nothing. You'd be surprised the amount of people who build sites and they don't even think about security at all in any way. So for now, I'm just going to leave it open. I'm not really going to configure it or join the mailing list. I'm just going to leave it like that. So, and then that's going to give it its own flyout. Remember I said plugins will do that. Usually Wordfence is always at the bottom, and it's cool. It has tons and tons of features, and we're going to configure this in another tutorial coming up. So I'm going to leave that one for now, but it does need to be configured by you. So the next one that I usually install, now that we have Wordfence put in, let's back that up the list, is Contact Form 7. And this is if your theme doesn't come with a contact form builder. A lot of these newer themes do. They have it built into the theme by default, so you don't even have to do this on your own. But let's say that you wanted to add a contact form to your website to easily configure a contact form. Just type in contact form, and then Contact Form 7 will usually be the first one. Yeah, okay. And there's actually a lot of them now, but this is one of the most tried and true ones. It's been around for a really long time. So we're going to go ahead and install that too. Okay, and then go ahead and just activate that as well. I also think that in a future tutorial, we'll also configure our contact form and just give you an example of how that works too. So now we have a ability to do contact forms built in, and that's going to be, I believe it adds its own contact menu here. Yes. So this is what allows you to create new contact forms, very similar to like a post or something. You can actually create multiple contact forms going different places and with different styles. So that's great if you want to do contact forms. So we're going to get that out of the way. Next one is Duplicator. This is very important for when we go to migrate this site out to the web. I've been using this plugin for a really long time. I've done a ton with this plugin. All right. So it's by Snap Creek. It actually used to be by, I believe, a company called Life in the Grid, and that was a long time ago. It's called Snap Creek now. It's an excellent plugin. I highly recommend this one as well. It's for migrating your WordPress site out to other places and backing it up and all that. And I'll probably make a video in the future too about backing up your WordPress site. It's pretty important too. If you have a lot of posts and stuff and you don't back it up and your site breaks for any reason, or you can't access it, or it gets deleted, guess what happens to all your posts and all your comments and everything you've done over the life of your WordPress site. So, okay, so go ahead and activate that. We're not going to configure or use this at all right now. This is actually going to be one of the last things we do before we move our site out to an active server once we purchase a place to move it to. Okay, so now that we have Duplicator, We can add that to our list of things that we have in our site. Okay, insert PHP code snippet. For anybody not familiar, WordPress, like I said before, is a platform built on PHP. The most interesting part about WordPress, though, is it actually sanitizes any PHP you attempt to put in it, meaning that if you go to write PHP like in a page or a post, WordPress will just ignore it. It won't actually output the code. So like if you output, and we'll probably do, I could probably do a quick example on that. So for PHP code, anybody who's not super familiar with PHP, but PHP is just a language that does advanced coding things. So let's say that we opened up, I'm just doing this rudimentary. Okay, so let's say that we created a line like this. Okay, so what this does in PHP, this is just a hello world echo. This would just output some text on a page. So when you went to a page, it would just say hello world. Okay, that's all this. That's all that this does. It just gets rid of. It doesn't. That's how the code outputs it. It doesn't output these actual tags or echo or anything. It just outputs this right here. That's what a PHP echo does. And so if we tried to put this directly into our WordPress site, it would actually show this, like as text. It wouldn't do the code thing. So if we had advanced code we were running for building things or importing things or talking with APIs and things like that, it wouldn't allow us to do that. It would just ignore it and output it as regular text. It would escape it. And so a lot of times in WordPress, you have to have a plugin for that. And so one of the ones I really like is called Insert PHP Code Snippet. There's quite a few of these too, but I really like this one. It's pretty easy to use. And so, yeah, I really like this one a lot. It says untested with this version. Maybe there's newer ones, but I've been using this one for quite a while. I don't like using outdated plugins because, like I told you, sometimes it's a big security loophole when they haven't updated it to be compatible, when they haven't checked it to be compatible with your current version of WordPress. But in this case, it's okay because I'm doing it as an example, but also I still use this quite a bit. Okay, so like I was saying to you, that also installed its own down here, which is gives its own menu. And so if I actually wanted to do that code I was just showing you, I would actually go in here and I would add a new snippet, and it would give me this window, and let's say I just called this code hello world code, and then I pasted this actual code in there. And I don't think it wants you to put the end tag on it. I'm pretty sure you leave the end tag off. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it says that in this plugin's information. So you would create that, and now it gives you what's called a short code. And in WordPress, you're going to find that a lot of plugins will give you this kind of thing right here. This is called a short code, and you can put this in your WordPress anywhere, and it will do whatever the short code's calling to. So in this case, this short code right here will actually run the code that's inside this plugin. That code that we just put in it, that hello world code, it's going to actually run this stuff. So that's kind of cool. And you'll find that contact form 7 is the same way. You'll build a contact form and it will give you a short code that kind of looks like this. It will say like contact 7, and I can't remember exactly what it says, but it has like a snippet, and then it has like the name of the form or something like that. We're going to build it, so you're going to see it, but let's just say it says like form 1. And so even though you have a contact form that has like email and phone and all that stuff, it's actually just going to give you this, and you're going to copy this, and you're going to put this on your physical page. So when you go to your page to edit, you're actually just going to go to your page editor, and then you just paste that in there. In real time on your front end of your site, it's going to turn into a contact form. So that's just a quick overview of shortcodes. But that's what we just did here. So that's really why I use this. I can do a lot of custom PHP with that on the site. So that's a quick breakdown of that. And so the last one is a all 404 redirect to homepage. I think that you can do this through Wordfence, but I like to do it, or historically I've done it through its own plugin, just a simple plugin that redirects any 404 errors that would be shown to somebody. It redirects it directly to your homepage, which is good for a few reasons. It's good for SEO, and it's also good just to keep people off your 404 pages, because believe it or not, in WordPress, when you get to a 404, one of its core things that it does by default is it shows your log. It shows like your link to your administrative login and all that, which you really don't want. So let's go ahead and install this, and I'm pretty sure this starts working by default. I don't think you have to configure it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this just goes ahead and sends all 404s to your homepage, and I can actually show you real quick how that works. So 404, as you know, is just a broken link, meaning that there's nothing that exists at that page. And I'm pretty sure this is set up under the settings. It is. It puts a new all 404 redirect to homepage. I don't know if you have to turn it on. It's enabled. Okay. So by default, let's say that we go out to our site right here. and we type in something that doesn't exist, like, right, and we hit it, it should redirect to the home page. Right, and see, it got rid of it and redirected to the home page. So now users can't access anything that doesn't exist. Okay, so generally as my installations go, this is a pretty simple list right here from top to bottom of the things I install. I go for all 404 redirect homepage, all-in-one SEO pack, contact form 7, duplicator, insert PHP code snippet, and Wordfence security. I'll add more based on the project I'm building. Like in this case, if it was a flower shop, I might go with WooCommerce or something like that. And a lot of times if you need a plugin and you're trying to do something, you can search it up. Like if you need a interactive schedule, or like an interactive calendar, or like all kinds of stuff, form add-ons or login add-ons, or there are literally plugins for everything. That's what makes WordPress so cool, is that if you can come up with it, chances are likely someone's built it, and you can either buy it or you can download it for free from the repository and add it into your site. But this is what we're going to configure here, and I think that in future videos we're definitely going to configure our security. We're going to talk about that. We're going to build a contact form, probably a couple. We're going to actually configure our all-in-one SEO pack, and then at the very end we're going to end up using Duplicator to actually push this site, or to copy it and move it out to a live server that we're actually going to buy a domain for this site, and you guys will actually be able to visit it at the end because it'll be a live site. So that's pretty much it for plugins. That's going to wrap us up. And if you want to play around with finding more plugins, it's easy to go out there to the repository and just search and type in stuff and see what's popular and what people are using. But for me, this is a good starting point. It kind of lets me configure everything the way I want it. So like every other video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos. In the future videos, like I said, we're going to get into configuring all that other stuff, and then actually launching this thing out. So I'll see you in the next one.